Holy crap, that's such a hit.
So they released their top 10 offenses. Colorado's number 8.
This moment in sports history will be remembered as one of the better fights, man. Like,
Put the cherry on top, they played Austria today. Guess the score of that game? 32 to 25 to not medal for bronze. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Rose of the Features Podcast, episode 33, our Michael Turner episode. So fellas, let's truck in like Michael Turner into this episode. How are we doing?
hey, we're doing great. We're here for the Frank Robinson episode. He is a two-time World Series champion. Unfortunately, it's not baseball season though, and I got to give it to the main man in green. Josh, how are we feeling, man?
Cooper DeJean is cornerback one. You know, we're on the 33rd episode. It's after an Eagles Super Bowl victory. Oh, baby, I'm on the moon.
Can only
Go.
imagine, man.
Go
Love
ahead
it.
and take the floor.
I mean, yeah, where do we start? It was a shellacking, an absolute shellacking. I obviously wrote down that it's just the whole episode's just going to be one whole shit-eating grin by me. It's just literally just here the whole time. And yeah, like
We're just gonna have to sit here and just play it out. So get ready to be in the bleachers, folks. Josh, go. Just do your
absolutely.
thing.
Somebody, where's my whiteboard? So obviously Jalen Hurts MVP. I mean, let me tell you, that man was feeling it. Jahan Dotson had a reception in the Super Bowl, which is insane because, like, you know, who knows if you win the trade, but if a guy gets a catch in the Super Bowl, you won the trade. So, and then he even threw one to Johnny Wilson. You guys might not know who Johnny Wilson is, but listen, he is like the third, fourth, fifth wide receiver. That might be a tight end. Nobody knows. They're trying to figure it out. But yeah, that's how much the guy was feeling it. And then yeah, we have to obviously do MVP two as a squad, as a unit. The Eagles defense, 6 sacks, one a strip, and 2 interceptions. I mean, you know, it was just the whole first half was a trench warfare in mud, and unfortunately, one team was in moon boots and the other was knee deep. So
Yeah, man. Boy, I mean, listen, to the point on the shellacking, right? Like at the Super Bowl party that I was at, there were some guys that were Eagles fans. There were some other. I feel like the wide majority was working with the Chiefs, and it got really quiet really quick after the game. And that Jahan Dotson thing, man, like if he ended up getting that first touchdown, that was going to feed families. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the odds were on that, but listen, I just love seeing one of those go through the hoop, but damn, Jalen Hurts' first touchdown was just,
yeah, I think I heard it was like 17-1.
oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, the worst person you know had 25 cents on it, and you know who they are. You're picturing them right now.
yep.
And so yeah, from there, I mean, we started the show with number 33, Cooper DeJean. I mean, my gosh, obviously it's a song that, if you don't know, that's a song that CJ Gardner Johnson made and has been Mike picked up like 3 times singing it. And yeah, that whole run back on that was crazy. I mean, when you look back on it, that's probably the one singular, which it's insane that this is the second quarter. Like that was the one singular play that really just broke Kansas City's back for that entire game.
100%. And I mean, obviously, I think that the internet has taken over everything with Cooper DeJean, right? So I
Or
hope that
Jackie
you know the song.
Robinson.
There you go. Some are saying. But listen, I think the cool part about all of this, right, is that like it really underwritten going into the draft. And I mean, the Eagles just taking a flyer on a guy who, when you're looking at the tape, especially of him
No,
at
they
Iowa,
didn't. It wasn't a flyer. They traded up for him.
well, no, you know what I mean. But I
Yeah.
feel like the overall sentiment in that
Mhm.
draft is there are other cornerbacks on the board. We're not going to try this experiment, right? And it's like, come on, like you look at the tape and everything that we saw this year on the Eagles' performance, that's everything that we saw at Iowa over the last couple of years. And the stat that I saw is that obviously he returned the touchdown, which is awesome, and it happened on his birthday. Play into
Mhm.
the lore, but he didn't allow an individual like touchdown against him all year. So it's just like your
Yeah.
+1 as a rookie cornerback on the year, and you get your +1 in the Super Bowl is nuts.
Yeah, he's a sure tackler. I mean, downhill. Like that guy's
Mhm.
downhill. I mean, another
Montreal.
rookie. Ooh, another another rookie to highlight, Jalix Hunt, which he got a sack, and it's crazy. He was their 3rd round pick, and he was literally playing safety at Cornell his sophomore year of college, and he got moved to DL when he went to Houston Christian. Literally, Vic Fangio was pounding the table for this guy, and they were just like, okay. And guess what? It worked out. Give the guy the keys. It's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Um, And yeah, like again, my notes are kind of a bit out of order because we're a little bit dramatic here, but it's all mostly Philly centric until we'll get to the Chiefs. But yeah, the offense had 24 points in the first half, and the Chiefs had 23 yards. Uh, Patrick Mahomes was like he was mortal as hell, and it was insane to watch.
It was weird.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone that watched it is still shocked a little bit, right? But
yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't know,
it
man.
really,
You could say it finally caught up with them this after this whole freaking season.
hey, Drew, who knows? Maybe you've been right all along. I mean, you did call it in the sense of
Mhm.
maybe they weren't that great team. Maybe they were just a good team, you know?
I heard the argument like if it's any of those other AFC teams, like is this game different? And I don't know. Like I really don't know. Part of me wants to say probably not because I mean they played the Bengals, they played the Ravens, they just didn't really play the Bills. They didn't get to play.
I was gonna
I mean
say, if
like
anything, it's got to be the Bills, right? Like, I still
right.
feel like that's gonna be the juggernaut. That's gonna continue to be what is gonna be that AFC Championship is gonna continuously be Chiefs, Bills, or again, somebody sneaks in and does something a little bit crazy. But again, I think this year, again, you guys had the top defense, and I got something funny to mention later in the show on that, so I'll keep that to the side. But man, it was honestly just an absolute swallowing. And it felt like, when I finally get everything right in college football and like my D line knows how to do the rip move and I'm perfect timing, interceptions, it just felt like everything was clicking. And sometimes that's weird when it's actually going right. And when it's going right for your team, I mean, damn, oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean the trenches on both sides. Like like I've written here literally, it was like watching a Max school play against a D1 under 17s team. Like it was kind of insane. I mean, like Chris Jones was kind of getting his for a little bit, but I mean, he was kind of unaffected, ineffective. Carl Loftus was as well on the defensive side for them. I mean, you could circle every defensive lineman the Eagles put in there, and they were just feasting. Like it was one of those games where there was blood in the water for them, and they just feasted. Um, and yeah, the dagger shot to Devontae that was really just it was a nail in the coffin, which again was crazy because that was the third quarter. Like it was, like, they're going to come out and establish the run, and it didn't matter who you had on either one of the Eagles wide receivers if there wasn't a safety over top, and even if there was a safety over top, sometimes that one-on-one coverage, the Eagles guy was going to get the ball, which was crazy to see.
I will tell you, you say that it's the dagger, and now looking back at it, you can clearly tell like that was the knife, like, obviously. But in the moment there, you're still thinking like, this is still Patrick freaking Mahomes here. You know what I mean? Like, I will
Mhm.
tell you, like, I didn't do anything crazy and, placing live bets and start getting sweaty. I kind of just knew from the rip. I'm like, all right, well, time to just eat enough chicken wings until I pass out. Like let's just keep going. But man, it felt like they could come back until, you started really looking into it. And it was like, holy crap.
If you watched him in the pocket, I mean, I was honestly, I got to a point where I was counting like how long he was holding on to the ball for, and I was going one, two, three, get rid of it, get rid of it. Why aren't you getting rid of it? Why are you still holding? And it's sacked.
Not even that, not even like even moving. Like again, if we to float with that Bills kind of comparison again, like if that's Josh Allen, like I think they're getting those chunk yardage plays on runs. And I
Tend
think
to agree.
it's a lot more of a shootout there. Like you're engaging those linebackers a bit more of them just I mean, they just sat in coverage the whole time because Patrick really just like Mahomes just wasn't gonna move.
Yeah, and it felt weird because again, like we've seen him move, and whether it be these recent playoff games or in Super Bowl pass, like it's not a huge part of the game, but it's definitely something when let's win a damn game and let's keep moving the ball up the field. But to your point, I mean, they either just swallowed the outside of it and he wasn't able to get around them, or again, just those defensive tackles just making it such a wall to where he kept getting pushed back and nothing could happen.
Oh yeah, they were handshaking in the backfield, both of the D linemen. Like it was crazy. But yeah, that was easily without a doubt. That's probably the greatest Eagles roster of all time, and I don't think there's really a comparison that can be made there. I mean, they might have had their losses at times. There might have been some weird little hiccups occasionally, but like just talent for talent, per like roster spot from roster spot, 0 to 52, 1 to 52, however you want to count it. Like it's stand to stern, just an incredibly well built team. Um, yeah, which rolls us into a team that's really gonna have some issues here coming up next year because they have I don't remember what the list was, but it's 13 to 15 something free agents the Chiefs have to try to figure out what they're gonna parse
Damn.
through and keep and what to do with. Like it was 15 or 13, I can't remember, but it was insane. And yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he was mortal, and I put here, my back hurts at work too, buddy. like that's what happened. That's what that game looked like. I was like, my guy's just getting beat up at work. And yeah, there wasn't an Eagles blitz all night the whole time. They were just getting home with four. And that's game set match. That's all you're asking for from those guys. Pin your ear back, get back there and get in the quarterback's face.
Mm-hmm.
Really the only bright spot for the Chiefs was Xavier Worthy. I mean, like as far as the rookie seasons go, like if you think about a traditional rookie season, he started becoming more and more of an option in the playoffs, which I mean, you hope next year that they can lean on him more because yeah, he's a talented guy.
Shows confidence. And I mean, again, like the fact that he's able to get slippery and the fact that he still does some of those shovel receptions, which, we didn't see a ton of, but
Mm-hmm.
just kind of some of those slimy, easy, almost like a Debo type of player where he can move around, but more of like an explosive, get down the field type of receiver too. So I don't know. It's going to be fun watching him develop in that system. But if there's not a lot to build around after that,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, listen here. The box score is kind of crazy on this game because yeah, they got a bunch of slot TDs to hopefully make Patrick and the rest of the team feel better because yeah, Kenny Pickett was in. So at any point in time when Kenny Pickett's in the game, it just doesn't matter anymore, which is absurd because you're talking about a literal Super Bowl. Yeah,
Kenny
yeah,
Pickett, fake slide and all.
hmm and yeah, there's a clear parallel between the one loss that the Chiefs had in the Super Bowl previously and this one, which is just that O line just was not helping at all. They were more of a hindrance, and so I mean, you probably would expect them to address that first, and they'll probably I think what's his name Hollywood what's his name is back too,
Brown.
and yeah
Oh,
yeah
they're Brown.
Hollywood I think he's back, and they have Xavier Worthy, so. What do you is that Travis Kelce's last game? Probably not. I don't think so.
No.
Um, yeah, I don't think you get embarrassed like that and just go, that's enough. Um, but yeah, I mean, figuring out what he means in this offense going forward, because yeah, like it didn't even seem like anybody was on the same page through that whole thing.
Yeah, it felt like again, we kind of talked about it in the episode prior where Kelce is going to have to be some sort of, just defense mechanism, if not like the ultimate offensive weapon, like for Mahomes and be the check down guy, be the guy that's going to be able to go over to linebackers and be able to make the catch, right? And to your point, it just didn't feel like that kind of synchronicity was there. It felt like things had shifted. And again, maybe it's the environment of the Super Bowl, but you can't feel like it's that because they've been there too, right? Is it
Mhm.
the fact that they're three-peating? Is it the fact that he had a ring in his pocket? Is it the fact that, there's pressures elsewhere? Like, I don't know, right? But it's
Is that a ring in your pocket? Or are you just excited to see me?
yeah, hey, and it definitely was not too exciting at the end for him. So I don't think it was the right time, place, whatever. Happy that we hit no on proposals. That was one of very few that we end up hitting on the day.
And I mean, with particularly like coming into this game, I know a lot of the narrative was like the three-peat on the Chiefs and the Chiefs kind of playing it cool and being like, yeah, we're not even thinking about it. But I mean, who even knows? Like, because it was clear that from what it seemed, from what I hear from a lot of the beat reporters on the ground, that Eagle centric, not even Eagle centric. Some of them were just saying that like the Eagles didn't even start warming up as early as the Chiefs did. Like it seemed like the Chiefs had to get some nervous energy out coming out there and do stuff. And the Eagles were chilling. They were off their feet for an extra like 30, 45 minutes before they came out and started doing stuff. So yeah, I mean, if besides for the fact that I'm a fan of the team, if you're talking, Eagles fan aside, probably like the second worst, third worst Super Bowl I think I've probably seen. Nah, probably second worst. I would say it depends. That Seahawks Denver one was where the
Yeah, that
Seahawks
one
blew them
always
out,
sticks out to me.
and maybe that's just because we're all young and rooting for Peyton Manning, and you're just like, man, this sucks.
Could be.
And then whatever the Patriots Rams one was, that one's the worst one for me. Like where it's just Jared Goff and Tom Brady trying to figure out who wants to lose the game, and it was just a terrible game. But yeah, like football agnostic. I apologize to everybody else who sat there and watched it, but I absolutely enjoyed my 4 6 hours. Who knows how long it was.
I
Um,
can only imagine just the slop that you were just feeding into and shoveling in and everything in between. But oi, oi, oi.
oh yeah, I was just a starry-eyed little boy. Okay, and then now we get to the more unhinged part of it. Which I wrote in all caps. I'm probably not going to yell because who knows, microphones and all. But I got to put Carson Wenson, you cowards. Like, what are we doing? You got Kenny Pickett in there. It's slop anyways. Let's get some light the fire. Still Carson in there. Let's see what happens. Maybe he's going to make the comeback happen, and he could have won the game. We'll never know because that Patrick Mahomes guy wasn't helping.
My God.
And the second note here that's obviously this is how unhinged we are. I said replay that effing Super Bowl 52 on this field. Let's talk. Because again, that was an all-star, like, almost historic pace defensive line that was neutralized by like overwatered grass in freaking Arizona. It was BS. And yeah, I was so high on that when I was watching a video of Chris Collinsworth reacting to it. I don't even like Chris Collinsworth. I don't even care what that guy has to say, but I was just so curious. I was just like, listen, I'll get all the angles I can. Obviously it didn't count, but that CJ Gardner Johnson return for a TD on that interception that was a penalty the Eagles came in so, like, at a certain point they just started being disrespectful, and I was really happy for them because that losing to that team, and especially a lot of Juju Smith-Schuster, that freaking guy, get that guy. But a lot of just listen, a lot of the underlying stuff that it feels good. It feels good to be back on top. Yeah, and I have Patrick Mahomes getting fisted in the mouth by Jalen Carter. I was like, he was held most of the night, so don't even talk to me about a penalty. I really don't care. Also, that guy gets enough penalties. Like, it was cathartic. Let's talk about it. And then again, back to the disrespect. A Gatorade bath prior to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Was it?
Let the plane land. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Don't start applauding when you're
he
still
doesn't
in the
care.
air. Like,
He doesn't fucking
I know you
care.
don't. I know you don't.
No, I mean the game was probably over by halftime, and we can be realistic. But they still had to come out, so now hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, thank you.
And okay, so here we move on to the section where obviously I first would like to apologize to my early season takes of mostly being annoyed at Nick Sirianni. But now we've decided, we should do I'm going to do the 2024 Nick Sirianni Walk Home recipients. Obviously the award is named after him as he was an early guy to be an all-star on the list. I have Juju Smith-Schuster. 2 receptions, 16 yards, kick rocks. That guy posted in James Bradbury's face on a Valentine's Day post about being held and like, what are you doing in the second matchup? And you could tell. And you know what? James Bradbury's got a Super Bowl ring now too. Juju. Insane, weird, crazy. Yeah. Andy Reid with a bye week. That's got to kick rocks a little bit too, especially when they play the Eagles, because last season it was the same exact thing. Eagles bye, Chiefs bye, and they won that game. Obviously, Super Bowl prior. We don't have to talk about that. But then this matchup again, the bye week, very funny. For as far as the O line, trying to block a D lineman with an O lineman with a non O lineman. They were trying to block Josh Sweat with Travis Kelce, and he got his literal face ripped in. And so, I have here Brock Purdy because again, the 49ers tried to do the exact same thing and it ended notoriously worse for them. So when are they going to learn?
One of these days, Josh, who knows?
Probably one of the bigger ones on the list. You got to make Jalen beat him with your arm. He had 5 incompletions on 22 attempts and he was just diming him the game prior, diming him this game now. And still had 72 yards of rushing. So there was minimal containment. We have anyone who disrespected the Eagles defense. I've been banging the drum for the past however many long, outside of literally Jaden Daniels having crazy magic. And again, I'm not excited for more of these games to come. Especially
there you go, Drew. You get your one moment,
Again, my sneaky, I'm gonna throw it in right freaking here. I know that those stinking Commanders are gonna trade for Myles Garrett, and I'm gonna be so freaking mad when it happens because they got the cap space, they got the picks, and they got an early controlled quarterback. I'm gonna be so mad. But yeah, anyways, Steve Spagnuolo, blitz magic, who cares? Whatever. Meet 350 pounds of O-lineman and Saquon laying concrete as a back pass defender. Like, cool. You contained, same with him on defense. You contained him for 57 yards. I guess that's your reward. Like, he still had like 6 completions for 47 extra yards. So, and then, anybody else walking home that's comparing the Eagles O-line to any other O-line. Like, there's 3 feet of shit, and then maybe your team's on the list because it is an absolute special group. It's a coached up group. It's a group that knows exactly what they're doing. And you come into it where they talk about how there might be different matchups. Oh, Detroit's got a good this here, whatever. You know what? It doesn't matter. The Eagles have the greatest O-line. They've had it for a while, and it's just, you never know when you're in the good times unless that kind of thing. And we're here.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably seen.
It was a saga. But I will
That
say,
was
if
probably
there's
a solid
anything,
25 minutes.
eh, if there's anything that we took out of this, I think is again one of the worst Super Bowls that I can remember, and excited for next football season. I will tell you that.
Me too. I mean, yeah. Again, I'm going to enjoy this one while I can. I don't even want to think about next year because, again, after the Eagles went to a Super Bowl against the Chiefs and lost, they then had an absolute historic collapse down the stretch. So, we're going to take it week for week next year.
Yeah, I think we need the rubber match between these two teams now to settle it once and for all. Hopefully in the regular season, not in the Super
I mean,
Bowl.
if you count last year where they played each other before that collapse, the Eagles did win that game, and then they, beat the Bills, and then everything got bad.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
Tampa
uh,
Bay. Tampa Bay, how you doing? You know what I mean? The only team that probably beat Jalen Hurts as a starter, they should feel good.
Hey, Tampa sick.
so, any last touching comments?
No flaky salt to finish the dish off or anything. Nothing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think I need a cigarette.
There you go.
All
That's your
right.
flaky salt, folks.
That's what you get, some salty nicotine. All right, let's go on to current events. Current events for the week. A lot of other stuff happened outside of the Super Bowl, in case you didn't know. Maybe not here for the past 25 minutes, but it's spotlight. So, all right, let's get into it. So, current events. Damn. Oh yeah, that's right. Outside of the Super Bowl, we have the Great American Race, the Daytona 500's coming up. I've been a NASCAR fan for about, gosh, almost like close to 16 years, 17 years. So I want to go for a little preview. So maybe if you're not a NASCAR fan, maybe I might persuade you. I don't know. But
You
there's nothing
persuaded
better than
me.
nothing better than three wide, isn't that right? I was surprised too. But I just want to go off from some quick stats. So, not so bold prediction. I think Hendrick Motorsports will have the front row from qualifying. They're always fast for qualifying. They're the fastest cars on the track. So, I think they're going to have a front row like they normally do. And then some quick stats. Chevrolet has won the Daytona 500 9 times since 2005. Ford has won it 7 times, and Toyota 3 times, which I will touch on later. And if you need to know, qualifying is Wednesday, 8:15 of this week. So pretty much tomorrow when the show comes out. Thursday, the dual races. I love the dual action. Two 60-lap races of absolute chaos. And then we have Sunday, the biggest day for
Sunday,
NASCAR.
Sunday, Sunday.
Not sure why it's the biggest race as the first race, but it is, right? So let's go
Nothing like
into my
Daytona.
my favorite picks. Um, Not my favorite driver, but I have to say him, Joey Logano. As much as I hate to say it, he's the reigning champ. He always has a shot to win it. It's been a decade since he last won the Daytona 500 in 2015. So he'll stick the dagger in my heart and be a bastard to win this race and have that patented dorky smile to boot with it.
I want to break his glasses.
Yeah, God, I just can't stand him. If you're a Joey Logano fan, just feels like the equivalent to an Eagles fan almost, if you might say it.
Way to go,
Um,
Drew. Way to get him. Get him. Kick his ass.
it's I don't know. I'm dead on the mat from like 2 weeks ago still, but my next pick, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin not might be able to win the championship, but he has won the Great American Race 3 times, and not sure when he'll be coming out of his prime, but it's coming in the near future. So why not make it an even number and have his fourth win in Daytona 500? And to circle back, those 3 wins that Toyota has in the Daytona 500, only from him. So he's the only Toyota
Ooh.
since '05 to win the 500. Well, actually, in history, really, if you think about it. Toyota came in along in 2007, but so yeah, Denny's always fast. He knows how to make his way up there, and yeah, I mean, 3-time champ. You might as well roll the dice and see where they lands.
Hey, Drew, that's a fun little fact right there. I might just
Yeah.
have to sprinkle a couple of dollar rookies on that. Who knows?
Oh
Now,
yeah.
those are my favorites. Now we go to the dark horse, the Mustang
Uh-oh.
dark horse pun.
Oh.
If you guys don't know, the Fords are Mustangs and they're dark horse editions in NASCAR. That's what they race in. Yeah. Anyways, NASCAR puns. Anyways, my dark horse picks. My dark horse picks Justin Haley from Spire Motorsports. Justin Haley has been recently has gone to the Cup Series. He actually has won a Daytona in the Cup Series in 2019, and he also has a few to boot as far as Talladega and Daytona under his belt wins in the Xfinity Series. So I always say he's my favorite because he's really good at super speedways, and wouldn't mind him winning. I think that'd be really cool. Super underdog. Then my next one is Ricky Stenhouse for Hayek Racing. Ricky always has speeds at super speedways. He always finds his way to the front. Another driver who is a ringer when it comes to super speedways in Daytona and Talladega. And does have an ace in the hole. Recky Spinhouse will come out if needed because he has wrecked the leader of the race on the final lap before to win a Daytona 500. So he's also a
Whoa.
previous winner. Yeah. Quite controversial.
Spicy.
Um, so yeah, those are my dark horse picks for the 500. You guys got any comments? Anything I need to hear
I
for the
have
Great American Race?
I
I
didn't
have
know that there
picks.
was a wrecking ball on wheels, but that always gets the loins going. So
For me, my sneaky picks, I think, are Chase Elliott. Obviously, kind of a quiet season for him last year. Started off hot on that little duel. He was what qualified first. I could see him definitely carrying that momentum into this race. He's kind of been quiet the last couple of years. I mean, Blaney snuck in and won one too. So like, let's get some young guy back in there.
I thought about picking Chase, but I was a little bit reluctant to put him in due to that fact of
Oh yeah,
his
it's always.
slump.
I mean, it's always just an easy grab too. And for me, I mean, listen, Christopher Bell's been knocking at the door for a while, especially last year. He had a deep run into the playoffs, and I always enjoy watching him. And he seems to be the for me, if it's like Denny Hamlin's top Toyota, then it's Christopher Bell right after that. And so I like to sneak my little Toyota value picks in there as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Christopher Bell is also very good. And then I thought, damn it, I'm gonna cut this. What did I want to say about Chase? Oh yeah. Circle back on Chase too. You know he's always very aggressive. He always wants to start his own lines when they just want to run single file on the top or bottom groove, whatever it is. But hey, sometimes you need that, and sometimes usually it pays off, or sometimes you get in the sucker hole where two lanes and then you're in the middle going "Wah," with the boat anchor on the back of your bumper.
Yep.
So
Everybody's just parsing ways.
but I don't mind those two picks, Josh. Like, glad we got some variety. And then we have Jake, the gambling merchant. So, is there have we persuaded
man,
you? Is there
dude.
anybody you want to take?
I mean, I think of all of the ones that I would probably lean into is I like the Denny Hamlin fact. You know, the fact that again of Toyota's wins, he is all of those wins. He's potentially going out on a high. I kind of like playing into that lore a little bit.
Yeah. So,
Outside of that, I have no actual analysis on the sport. I know that they turn left, so that's
there
about
you
what I got
go.
for us. Hey, we're here. We're here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, for me, as far as like deep value picks, I mean, listen, a Daniel, anybody from what are they called, Trackhouse, yeah, a Suarez or even a what's his name, Watermelon Man, uh, and I mean, not the best on super speedways, I would say, but sometimes you see what's his name, Suarez sneaking up in there. So
Anything could happen.
yeah, that's the tough part. Is like it's like horse racing, but you have to wait 3 hours. It's amazing.
But I will name off the names as far as the odds for the winners, the Daytona 500, what they might be as far as who we named. Joey Logano is the biggest favorite, plus 1100. Denny Hamlin plus 1200. Chase Elliott plus 1200 too. And then we go to Christopher Bell plus 2000, not too bad. Ricky Stenhouse plus 2500 to follow that. And then we go all the way down. Justin Haley plus 5,000, so a little bit sneaky. Maybe he's kind of starting to get some shine. That's really about it. Oh, also, maybe I'll just throw it in. Shane Van Giersbergen,
Yeah.
that road course ringer. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I just have a little bit of a like funky feeling, but he's
Something about
plus.
Shane Van Ginsbergen.
All right, it's all about Shane Van Giersbergen. Yeah, right.
I could just already make
Plus
assumptions
6,000.
on what Everything is going on here. I like it.
He's
No,
he's a Kiwi.
yeah,
Oh,
he's
funny.
fun.
Okay.
He's fun too. He's good. Listen. My man is a fish to water when it came to NASCAR.
Oh
All right.
yeah.
Hey,
But enough of making left turns, Jake. Let's go to the hardwood. What do you have for us?
Drew,
Yeah.
let's do it. First off, I'm going to jump into the AP poll rankings because I think I like that breakdown of who's up, who's down, right? But I found a really cool piece today that Tom Izzo is going for the top coaching win of all time in the Big Ten, and this would be to replace Bob Knight on the top of that list. But tonight, MSU is actually playing Indiana, which I thought was a really cool fact. So we'll
Oh,
see what that game, how that all breaks out, and it's at East Lansing too. So again, whoever wrote the script for Michigan State this year, like kudos, like you're ranked, you got that potentially going for you. C'est la vie. But when we're going into the AP poll rankings, the two teams that I've been really keen on that have dropped a ton this week, they've dropped 7 spots respectively for both of them, Marquette and Maryland. Marquette, they're on a 3-game losing streak going into a game tonight versus DePaul. Losses against UConn at home, a loss at St. John's, which is proving to probably be the toughest arena to go into right now, and a loss at Creighton. But this is the first 3-game losing streak that they've had since the 2020 season. And in the 2020 season, they had 2 3-game loss streaks. So again, this is like a very unprecedented time right now for Marquette basketball. But they're currently third in the Big East behind St. John's and Creighton. So again, those losses that they've gotten recently are against the cream of the crop, the Big East, right? So I don't think that anybody in Marquette fandom needs to start freaking out about not making the tournament or anything. You guys are probably going to be, a little bit higher seated just because of some of these quality losses. But the main guy that I've been watching this year has been Cam Jones. Again, 6'5" senior guard out of Memphis, Tennessee. He's putting up 19 points a game. So again, if you're not watching Marquette,
Wow.
just because of the slide, don't freak out too much. They're big in on it.
did Cam Jones transfer there? Because that name sounds familiar.
I believe so. I don't have that, but I don't have
I'm
that in
on
my
it.
ball knowledge bag. Thank you. If someone can stat check us, but I do believe
Wait,
that he transferred.
Cam Jones or Sean Jones?
Cam Jones.
Oh,
No.
oh, he starts with a K. That's why it's so
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
No.
no,
He's
he's been at Marquette.
he's
Sorry.
all
no.
4 years.
Oh, okay.
5 years.
I do know that he's a senior, so I got that for you. But
4 years.
one of the things that I like about Cam Jones too is that he's got a big body, so he'll make a lot of contact, and it kind of reminds me of like how Jimmy Butler plays, where he's like willing to absorb the contact and try to get creative, but really good finishing ability. So again, something that to kind of look into for the tournament because it's really all about one having the team that can consistently show that they can shoot, that they can defend, that they can get the rebounds, but then what we've seen in recent years, you've really got to have a guy that you can just go to and be an absolute dog. And Cam Jones is probably going to be their dog that they rely when they get into the tournament. And the other team that I've been big on this year has been Maryland. Maryland, again, they did drop a decent amount this week, dropping 7 points. But since January, they're 7-4 in the last 11 games. Big wins against UCLA, Illinois, and Wisconsin, but losses against Washington, Oregon, Northwestern, and then Ohio State. So it's been a very shaky season for the Terrapins, but they've been getting a lot of juice in the media poll for sure. Drew, I know that anytime that we can jab at our fellow Buckeye on the podcast, we got to do it. So,
Yeah, no, huge. Matt was at that game and he was losing his mind because Ohio State hit that game-winning three with like less than 8 seconds to win it. So I thought that was pretty crazy. And then gotta love Maryland beating Wisconsin, those rat bastards, Badger bastards from earlier in this November when Arizona lost. So
hey,
glad.
listen, Drew, you've got some good foreshadowing ability because they might be one of the teams we talk about that's on the rise. But I think we may have gotten over that loss. But back to Maryland real quick.
I haven't.
Uh, clearly, but the one flaw that I've really seen in Maryland's game this year is they are terrible on the road. They are 14-1 at home, but they are 2-5 on the road this season. And I think that that's something where, again, a lot of teams they can play into their home court advantage. But when we start talking about getting late, when we've got conference championships that are being played in bigger arenas, big cities, you now go into those tournament games potentially and go into, brand new location every 3-4 days. That kind of doesn't make me feel super nicey, guys. So I don't know. I'm a little bit more
Yeah.
suspect than I've ever been on the Terrapins. But when we
It's a
go back to
wild
that
split.
Yeah, very wild. And again, when you start seeing it deep in the Big Ten, like again, Big Ten is arguably the top conference in college basketball this year outside of the SEC, in my opinion. But again, some of these losses are a little bit harder when you start looking them as only on the road. But Maryland's being led right now by Jacoby Gillespie and the 6'1 junior guard out of Greensville, Tennessee, averaging 14 points, 4 assists. And honestly, like I think that the cool part about his game is that he is an elite pump fake and in the sense of a jab step too. Like he's able to get around his kind of pick and roll defender. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of being able to watch anybody just be able to get really creative. I don't want to give Harden-ism to it because it's gotten a little bit too crazy when you do the whole 3 steps jumping back and then shooting. But he's got some craftiness to him.
We love a good triple threat player, a little triple threat. Shoot, or am I gonna?
Exactly. And again, those are the teams that are on the downfall. And I feel like that's the cool part about the AP poll is that even when you see teams are just moving so up and down, like you can still even kind of cheer for them because you know they're all making the tournament. So again, exciting to kind of see those teams maybe bounce back. But the teams on the rise, I would be remiss if we did not start with the Arizona Wildcats, baby. We are up 7 spots this week, the top moving team in terms of positive momentum. So Arizona is to the moon. We're on a 6-game winning streak currently, wins against Iowa State, BYU, and Texas Tech. Huge game versus Kansas State, which is going on right now, and my palms are very sweaty. So we'll see how that one goes. But obviously, we've been talking about it all year. Those early losses, I think that people are really starting to shift the narrative more to the fact that we've only had 2 games lost since December. And that sounds a lot nicer than what it started to sound like to start the season.
Yeah.
Second in the Big Ten, right behind Houston, who we will play is our next game after Kansas State. So this is a huge, huge week for us in Tucson. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Big Saturday.
Big Saturday. And again, in terms of the keys of the game, it comes down to the man, the myth, the legend, Caleb Love. Got to see the consistency because, again, top scorer in the last 5 of 6 games, averaging 20 points. Do we see that in every game moving forward, right? And then Tobe Awaka has been an absolute lockdown rebounder, where, again, he's averaging 10 rebounds in 6 of those 7 games. So again, it's going to be a fun season this year for the Wildcats. But Drew, you got maybe a score update for us in Manhattan.
It's 41-35 Kansas State Wildcats. Both teams have 1 3-point shot made, and Arizona's 1 for 13, Kansas State 1 for 15. So we need to start making shots from beyond the arc, you know.
That is not the update I wanted, but that is okay. That is the way the news goes.
A lot of game left.
Yeah, a lot of game left. But another maybe a stat that fuels us a little bit for the end of the game is Arizona is tied for the most D1 wins since December 18th. And that makes 13 D1 wins in 14 games. So I can't say who exactly we're tied with, but it doesn't matter because we're 1A because we're 1 Arizona. So one of the other teams that was up on the rise is Ole Miss, who, funny enough, was on the drop list last week. They are going up and down like an elevator right now. It's kind of crazy. But they had a huge win against Kentucky and against LSU, which people are probably writing off because they are really low in the SEC right now. They're 1-9, but outside of their and this is for LSU, outside of the 1-9 conference record, they are 11-2 in non-conference. So again, that is the worst team in the SEC that is 11-2 outside of their conference. So that is just the SEC is unreal right now. They are gargantuan. And talking about the SEC, Ole Miss, for as well as they're doing, and they are in the rankings and they're moving up, they are 6th. It is just a crime. Like there's so many good teams in this conference right now, but they've got a lot of work to do for the rest of the season. I will tell you, I'm not super convinced on any star players or anything at this point. Talked about a few different guys last week, but Ole Miss is really going to have to, chunk it out in the SEC for the rest of the year. It's scary.
Well, it's good to see that they're making it back, starting to climb back. Because I always like to root for Ole Miss, only because I got accepted there. But I decided to go to the better school in Arizona.
Exactly. And I will tell you, I got accepted to another school too that we'll talk about right now. But I chose to go to the better school in the University of Arizona. But that school was Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is a.
You applied to Wisconsin?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I was trying to go to,
Really?
I was trying some stuff out. I was like Wisconsin, Indiana, trying some stuff. And like, it's
He
how
would
it
have
is.
died in the
It
snow.
was like
Tell me about it. It was not, that's why I chose I wanted to go to a school where I could wear shorts and t-shirt and flip-flops every single day. It was awesome.
And
hey,
he did.
I did that with some schools. I had that. There was like one if you only had to write one essay for their applications. And I was just like, I'll just send this one to the random bunch of ones that schools I didn't get in.
That's so funny. I did only a couple of the snowy schools, and I am so happy I didn't go to a snowy school. And even though Wisconsin, we're gonna give you a little bit of love right now. Just know it sounds like Drew's not over that loss in Hawaii. So listen,
Not over the fouls.
I'm over it because I think that we're doing great and we're ranked ahead of you. So suck it. But anyways, when it comes to Wisconsin, since the start of January, they are 9-2. Only two losses have been against UCLA, again being mentioned, but then Maryland too, right? So again, there's a lot of these kind of common teams moving up and down, kind of have to kick each other's ass at this point. That's kind of just how it works. But late in January to now has been fueled by John Torgy, and he's a 6'5" senior guard out of Omaha, and he's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. He's averaging 18.6 points a game, which is in the top 50 in the nation. And he's the top scorer in their last 7 to 8 games. So the long and short is that Wisconsin's good. I'm not putting a ton of stock into it because they're long and lanky, which always means that you're going to be a shooting first team. And when Wisconsin gets hot, it's gross. It's not fun unless you're rooting for Wisconsin. The other piece about Wisconsin is that they're long and lanky, like I just said, but on the defensive side. So they know how to create that inefficient shot. So long story short, we don't like Wisconsin.
I hate you, John Tanji. I hate you.
We'll give you a little bit of love here, but at the end of the day, it's not your season, it's Arizona's. But the last piece I've got in the college basketball world for us, shifting it a little bit from the trapezoid, right? Like let's see a couple of weeks go through. Like instead of shapes, let's talk about top 10. Okay. So let's look at top 10 of KenPom, because that's a huge piece. Again,
Oh, come on.
KenPom, big piece when it comes to the offensive and defensive efficiencies of teams. And in order, we have Auburn at number 1, Duke, Houston, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, Purdue, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Texas Tech, sorry, the University of Arizona, and then Kansas. So it's kind of interesting because of those top 10 in KenPom, there are 3 that are outside of that kind of, traditional poll that we're looking right now. So at least in the top 10. So I don't know. I think it could get a little bit crazy towards the end of this college basketball season, guys. It's going to be a friggin' war in some of these conferences, let alone the tournament. So it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these defensive ratings too. Kentucky has 100, but they're kind of at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I like what you're bringing to the table. So,
And frankly, like, even as you were talking about like the different odds on Daytona and whatnot, I was trying to sit here and be like, what kind of fun odds future can I even craft up right now? I can't say that I'm really confident in much here. Like, again, I think towards the start of the season, like I was really big on looking into like the Michigan State narrative and like see what that kind of looks like and the kind of resurgence of that. So, I mean, maybe it's them to win the Big Ten, but shit, man, there's probably another 4 or 5 teams that could win that conference. SEC, you want to believe in Auburn, but again,
they just got taken down against Florida.
oh, did they?
Yeah, over the weekend.
Oh, over the weekend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I thought you meant again tonight. I was like, hey, yo.
No. They beat Vanderbilt yesterday, or no, today rather, excuse me. And then the Iron Bowl for basketball this weekend, Saturday, Auburn versus Alabama, 1 versus 2.
Hey, I will, and we've said it for a couple of weeks now. I think SEC basketball is on top of SEC football, man. If they might need to start calling that like the Iron Basketball or something like that. Like they got to play into
The Iron
fun piece.
Ball.
The Iron Ball.
Real creative, right?
Yeah,
I thought of it on
hey,
my own.
listen, hey, you're a stud, man. Way to rock with it.
All right. Any more things on college basketball, Jake, before we transition?
No, college basketball world, I think we're kind of tapped off, Drew. Obviously last week we were talking a lot about the pro world and we were talking about the Luka trade. So figured it'd only be best to do a little bit of a recap on that, right? So Luka's first game, I think that, I didn't look into the ratings of anything, but I can only imagine it was one of the top regular season games, at least for this season, just because of the clout of it alone. But 132 to 113 win versus the Jazz, and this game was over very, very quick. You could tell that the Lakers have a piece that is going to make them very scary, very Showtime Laker-esque. But Luka definitely needed a little bit of this. This was a rust game, and I think that the rest of the team really kind of carried the torch with it. But 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 of 14 shooting with 1 of 7 from 3-point land. Like that's not traditional Luka. Like maybe that's the allure of it's in crypto, and you got to kind of got to get himself feeling good, but I don't know. It was very interesting to again watch kind of the clout and the hype around just as a regular season game. Like
now you're trying to get spicy.
Yeah,
Luka Doncic. I'm very happy to be playing at Staples crypto,
right? Yeah. So still maybe a little media training on top of just getting a couple more shots in the gym. Just get yourself feeling flow, But the other side of the coin, right? AD in his first game versus the Mavericks. People are underwriting it. They won this game, and the only thing they're talking about is the non-contact injury. They're also not talking about the fact that he had a 26 and 7, or what was it? 26 point, 16 rebound, and 17 or 7 assists performance, and then goes down with the non-contact, right? But you can't have this game without not talking about that too. And that's where it hurts, man. If you're a Mavericks fan, to see just the highest of highs and Anthony Davis doing all of that in 3 quarters and then going down with like the most Anthony Davis type of stuff where you're like, oh, that's see you later after the All-Star game, end of season. You never know. You don't know.
I got some more on that later.
Yeah. But I mean, again, I think that we clearly have seen from game or two who the winner of this is, both from emotional standpoint, from media standpoint, everything in it. And I think that really as fans, we can kind of just only sit here and just hope that it's just not as cataclysmic as what it once was with the Warriors and, their big 4 that they had and just the not fun finals years, because this could get gross.
Very, very, very well could be. But let's transition to our next segment. Valentine's Day is just around the corner. If you don't already have one, we'll be your Valentine. What's wrong with us? Just a couple of bros being some Valentines, man.
Just come in the bleachers. What's up?
That's right, man. Yeah, we're just so hopefully you enjoy the festivities with the loved one. But there's something that we don't love. So who is not your Valentine? Aaron Rodgers is not the Valentine for the New York Jets. Then YJ had Aaron fly all the way over to tell them that you're not a Valentine, Aaron. Get out of here, scram, scat. So I just thought that was crazy. So yeah, the experiment is over.
Oh, yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, one too many experiments with that whole situation is what it sounded like. But
no, but I will ask before we find out who's not your Valentine, Jake. Josh, I know you don't like him too, but I am curious. Where do you think he goes? Where's Mr. Ayahuasca gonna hit?
I have put a lot of thought into this, and for now, most of it, honestly, is really just hoping he doesn't go to the Raiders, because I think that would be just a terrible decision for both franchises.
It's a very Raiders thing to do.
It would be a very Raiders thing to do, and that's what I'm kind of afraid of. Outside of that, I mean, I really have to think. I mean, because the market's not nearly as crazy as it is. I mean, unless you're talking about some of those upper end people, like I mean, the Browns maybe. No, they don't have the money to probably do that, and I don't think their weird overlord of Deshaun Watson deciding what happens will probably not that like that either. But I mean, the Titans are always
that's what I was thinking.
I think that's probably maybe the most likely fit, and I think that's probably the easiest path for him as far as a division to try to shake some stuff up in.
That would be really weird. Like that, like, don't get me wrong, like at any point in these, like, good quarterbacks, great quarterbacks careers, when they go to a different team, like it's always going to feel a little bit greasy, but that one feels like
that'd be
wrong.
Weird.
That one feels like you put a Slim Jim and a hot dog bun and you told me it's a hot dog, like that's That's a little whack.
You're in your Madden franchise like 20 years from now, and just like,
Right.
what, Aaron Rodgers is on the Titans?
What do you think him and Will Levis are talking about?
Yeah. Will, I put ayahuasca in my coffee. Tastes great. But yeah, the Jets have a Valentine gift, the $55 million that they're gonna have to eat for old Mr. Aaron Rodgers. But anyways, Jake, who is not your Valentine?
Well, it was hard to figure out how to write this because I will tell you, when we were looking into this previous weekend, right, we were talking about Patrick Mahomes potentially going for the three-peat, right? So there was only one other Patrick in sports history that is a three-peat champion, and that is Patrick McCaw, okay? So Patrick Mahomes, you are not my Valentine. Patrick McCaw, you are my Valentine. Let's run it. Again, he's a Raptors and Warriors legend. The Chiefs legend might not even be a legend anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But, again, Patrick McCaw, you're my Valentine. Patrick Mahomes, you're not my Valentine.
Josh.
Mine, well, and it's sad because I actually do like this guy, but it'll honestly be Chris Jones. I mean, the guy they were made a reference to it, complaining about how the tush push hurts his neck and that it's dangerous. And I know that that's somehow going to circulate again somewhere when they try to remove a literal just up-resed QB sneak. But again, bro, if you're a defensive lineman, you're getting a 3-point stance and you got to line up against somebody and your neck hurts from that, you might need to get a new job, brother. I don't know, slim down, play linebacker, get good. I don't know, but yeah, that sucks to suck there.
Not a Valentine move.
Not indeed. All right. None of those guys got chocolates, but let's go on to our bencher play. So maybe you have some plays you want to give some chocolate to. All right. So my play, I'm playing baseball win stats. The MLB Instagram account posted home runs that have been either added or taken away from the wind. And the Kansas City Royals had the most home runs taken away by the wind of 67 total. I just thought that was pretty wild.
Yeah, no, they've got a weird park too, where it's very. I mean, obviously most parks are outdoor at this point, but they just have a super open wind tunnel type of park. It's crazy.
With the
Kauffman Stadium, right?
Yeah, Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah.
With the big old water fountain, waterfall in the back too, right? Or the
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Classic Stadium. And then the Athletics had the most home runs added by the win. Not sure how that'll work now being in Sacramento, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully on the minor league fences and whatnot. I'm just kidding. They're making it MLB caliber.
And then my double play, Ricky Fowler was at the Waste Management Open, and he pulled up with an all camo fit.
So sick.
Yeah, the polo, the hat, the pants. He has so much swag. Especially when he was coming up too. He had all orange. Traditional golf people. So this is just a mockery. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Who would wear such a thing to the course? Shut up. I liked Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, look good, play good.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. And then my bench. I'm benching Patrick Mahomes. What a dumbass. Why would you wear a green suit? The foreshadowing had it all over the wall. If that didn't, just looking back on it, it's like, well, that's all I needed to know for them to get their absolute face punched in for 60 minutes.
And literal face.
Yeah, exactly. So both metaphorically and physically. Yeah, benching Patrick Mahomes for thinking he's so slick wearing his green suit and his Oakleys just only to get fucking embarrassed. So yeah, that's all I had. Jake.
Thought he had it. All right. Well, this week I'm going to be playing a few things, benching one. First play is just the illusion of two outcomes. Found this tweet, and it's that there's an illusion of free choice. It's whether the Chiefs win the Super Bowl or the Eagles win the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia crime rate's going to go up. So again, it's very much knew that this was going to be a shit show going into it, turned into a shit show. Happy the shit show's over and ready for another shit show next year.
God forbid a girl has fun.
Yeah. All right. And my next play that I'm going to have is this awesome tweet that I saw where Elmo, I don't know if you guys saw, he very reactive on Twitter throughout the Super Bowl. But he said, may Elmo just say to Miss SZA, you were fantastic. And then someone quote tweeted that and said, shoot or shoot. And I was like, damn right. Because Elmo's a dog. He's just like me. He'd rather go 0 for 30 than go 0 for 9 because 0 for 9 means you stop shooting. Elmo, You're always a bro in the bleachers. We love you. When it comes to my one bench that I do have this week, this one is a little bit greasy to me. There was
So
a
this legit
student
happened.
competition. No, yeah, this actually happened. So
Oh,
there was a student that is doing a halftime contest where they have to make a layup, they have to make a 3 point, and then the half court shot. And the insurance company that is supporting it, who would have paid out $10,000 if and when he did make the shot, he actually made the shot. They said that his foot was on the line when he made the shot. So they are not paying him out $10,000 after having a perfect run throughout the entire thing. Crazy. So that deserves a big old fat bench
10,000?
for 10 grand. And he hit all 4 shots in a row. I mean, it was one of the like, that's an NPC. They have 1,000 shooting rating. How the hell did that just happen? And I don't understand how you don't pay a guy like that for, a toe over. But
Gross.
listen, if this is Olympic level sports, that guy might have, got his foot chopped off, let alone not getting 10K. So I don't know.
I'm looking at it. He had like half his foot or like half the foot, like the ball of his
Yeah.
foot on like past the logo or whatever you want to call it, the line. But no, that insurance company could eat it. They could write it off easily. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
despicable.
It's a part of the marketing. So again, it's like why poke the bear and go now in a negative direction? Sure, you don't want to pay $10,000, but you probably just created
Well,
negative $10,000 in media impression.
you have 13 million people who saw this, and you know what? They should have tweeted the insurance company who screwed that kid out of that money.
That's
Really
how it
throw him
is.
under the bus as deserved. But yeah, that's good one,
But
Jake.
that's my bench this week. That was yeah. Listen, for as much as we're the bleachers, that's in the bench. That's a whole different. We ain't there. So
Hmm.
again, that's my bench for this week.
Josh,
Well, there we
bench and
go.
play.
I have a couple benches. My first play is a Reddit video of the Philadelphia Eagles mayor spelling Eagles getting her redemption as NFL champions. I'm not going to spell it out because you won't catch me spelling in my Eagles gear because again, I can't. Um, and so yeah, I mean, again, listen, we might be illiterate, but we are funny. And then from there, I'm benching the Mavs franchise just as a whole. I mean, you lost Dirk, like that's like the one thing you have. I mean, there's nothing more that needs to be said after that. Like my man is sitting courtside of the Lakers game, watching Luca, enjoying that. Like just a wild turn of
Dude,
events.
Dirk literally became every like 10-year-old Curtis fan where they're like, well, I'm just a Luca fan now. And like,
Oh
I'm
my
going to
god.
jersey just to do it. It's like, and I respect it, got,
I mean,
you know,
somehow there's going to be more Cowboys Lakers fans in the world, and that is listen. That's the bigger part of this trade. Um,
That's
that's so good.
such a good point.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
Uh,
And my other benching, speaking of Dallas, not actually though, but it's just NFL officiating. Again, in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't say that the penalties favored either team. Maybe favored more the
agreed.
Eagles, I guess you could probably say with the weird what was it, roughing call. But I mean, just in general, I think the game was just poorly officiated. And listen, Roger Goodell, they got to figure this out because, like, again, like you're after about watching Jake Elliott kick the fourth retry of a field goal, because again, that's really what matters is that somebody's flinching there, I guess. Like who cares? Like what is going on here? Like it was wild that I mean, I guess they let him play, which is cool, but again, like it's just insane that there's part-time refs in a multi-billion-dollar industry. Like let's figure that out.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy, I guess, especially for Super Bowls, right? Because like there's so many MLB umpires who are like notorious for like being, a World Series caliber guy, and again, like Angel Hernandez, like again, not somebody who you ever want to be on the list of umpires with. And I feel like with refs, there's not too many. Like you hear about the good ones, but you really don't hear too much about the bad ones because I feel they either put them in a dark corner and they never use them again, or again, they just kind of pop out of the woodwork and it's like, it's my time to call 9 pass interference penalties in this game. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
And I mean, for a league that won't even put a chip in the ball, like it's not even really an argument that honestly should be had anywhere because, like, at this point, they're just being ignorant to doing like to just making things better. And it's gross, but yeah, it's just a big old bench because, yeah, like I said, I don't think the penalties really didn't affect either team in either way, other than it was just a bad officiated game, and you're just like, this is Super Bowl, come on. I
Honestly,
don't even want more of it.
I wouldn't be opposed to having robots ref the games from now on. But then you just have like one official like wearing the referee outfit, but he just like does like the chains and stuff. Like, yeah, yeah, this is good. The robot said it was
Yeah.
good.
It's just like printing a receipt out of his belt, just like doot, 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 doot. Yep, that's a
This is
hold.
what you do.
yeah. Officiating needs to be better. Would 1,000% agree on that. All right. Moving on from bench play, worst or best tweet, best stuff we saw on the internet, worst stuff we saw on the internet. So I'll lead us off first. I have a few like I always do. But Bill Belichick was at the Super Bowl with his 24-year-old girlfriend and they're
True.
walking around. And his girlfriend had an Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl 51 champ shirt, which is just as crazy as Bill having a bigger rack than her.
That's Hall of Fame shit right there. That's
Oh man.
oh my lord.
And then my next one, we had Randy Moss and Dickie V returned back to ESPN. I guess
So dope.
So good.
I didn't know Randy was battling cancer. I think that's
Mhm.
what
I
it
think I
was.
I think I remember hearing about it, but yeah.
Yeah, but just happy to have Randy back. We need Randy Moss to hear. You got Moss. Always like hearing
Oh
that
yeah.
segment for him. And then Dickie V, while we have some disdain for him during that whole Sean Miller debacle, probably many people don't even know what I'm talking about, but I need to get it off my chest. But wasn't very happy with him then, but very happy that yeah, Dickie V returned for college basketball. He is college
Man,
basketball, but
hey, way to reclaim that for yourself, Drew.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm
am I
glad.
wrong? Do you guys disagree?
No,
No, I mean, listen, I'm just laughing because it's almost been a century.
Still remember, I got
Drew's
receipts.
just sitting here, just angry. I love it.
But I love doing a Dickie V. I'm serious. The passion. And then
FC
Oh my
Dunkaroo.
god.
my next tweet, Anthony Davis is run with the
Oh
Mavericks.
my
It's
lord.
a video when Aaron Rodgers took the American flag out 2 years ago for the Jets. I just
Goddamn.
am I wrong? Is that
It's just an eternal video.
uh,
Oh, it's gonna be used
Oh.
for every sports injury of all time. I don't know why, but it just I mean I know why it's hysterical, but oh man.
And then my
Oof.
next one, this one I got from Matt, a game winner, 70-foot buzzer beater. Fairfield University beats Marist. Marist was 9-1 in the conference, and an 8-14 Fairfield team beat them, and that's probably the only way you could probably beat that good of a team in that kind of conference. I don't know. So I just thought that was
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah.
that was a greasy shot right there. But hey, that's how you got to win those games sometimes. We are not in March yet, Drew, but we are on the precipice of
I can
March.
I can taste it. I can taste the march.
Hmm.
I can taste the madness. And
Yeah,
then
what's marching?
and then more we gotta still turn this on this Luca trade, Anthony Davis NBA trade talk. I'm gonna go off. So when Kevin Durant got traded, the Nets turned Kevin Durant into Cam Johnson, Zaire Williams, 2023 Phoenix first, 2025 Phoenix first, Knicks first, Milwaukee first, another Phoenix first. It's a CVS receipt of how much stuff they got for Kevin Durant. I mean, I could continue, but you can look at the picture. And then you have Luka Doncic, top three player in the NBA, Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a pick from 5 years in the first round. So great,
Still makes
great
no
Yeah.
sense, and I don't think it ever really will.
No.
masterclass execution by Nico Johnson to get the least amount for your asset.
We'll never see it coming.
And
I think they will actually never see it coming.
that's all I had.
All
Jake.
right. Well, for this week, I only came with best tweets because the internet was on fire this week, just with everything that has been going on in the world. But let's start with this first one. Luca in one game has 14 total points. Bronny in every game this season only has 14 total points. Luca, Bronny, welcome to the Lakers. So that was a huge,
Yeah.
just that one fired me up. That'll get dudes to say hell yeah. But
Uh,
then the next tweet that I had, this is a guy who quote tweeted himself. And the initial tweet is, let's just say if the Rizzler raps at halftime, I'm going to be a very wealthy man. Which that tweet alone, when I first saw it, I lost it. I was losing it. This is right as I was rolling up to the Super Bowl party, and there was going to be a pool of, oh, what song is going to play? So this was a hit, like right as I walked in the door. Minutes later, I then saw that there was another tweet that just says, I'm ruined. And that sent me. I was like snorting, laughing. Oh, what a
You
Brian
definitely
got it done.
you definitely like the tweet,
Oh
and then you
my.
got like the notification on Twitter. It's like Brian Gard just retweeted
Yeah,
quote
and it
tweeted.
said, I'm ruined. I'm like, what?
Brian,
Oh
no.
my
I
god.
was like, I didn't know it was that deep, but okay. And then my last best tweet of this
The
week.
Rizzler owns my house now.
He's the Panther dressed in black, dude. He's got to do it. But my other best tweet is another quote tweet world where Football Insights, they came out with a chart and it said that the Eagles defense was special this year. And it's showing the defensive grading and efficiency throughout the year. Josh, this is your little rose that I'm throwing from the stage for you. You can catch it in your teeth. You're welcome. But then someone quote tweeted it and they said, so was Carolina's one of a kind. And it's literally just in the canonic opposite corner. And it's just,
The
again,
fact that that game was a shootout versus the Eagles is still so puzzling, which 100% was they were looking ahead a week.
oh yeah. But man, Carolina, you got something to fight for, but that graph does not help you too much, but definitely makes my best tweet of this week.
So, in the final bit of Eagles propaganda that I said I was done with, that I continue to not be done with, it is a Nick Foles tweet that says, it's really cool that Tom Brady got to be there for the Eagles' 2 Super Bowl wins. He might be a good luck charm. And it just says, have a great night.
My God.
Close his laptop. Chesda.
Bear
Oh
down,
my
bear
God.
down, Nick, bear down.
Absolutely. My guy, I mean, at this point, he's, listen, anything you ever hear about Nick Foles, he's one of the most humble, nice man that you'll ever meet. But when it comes to Tom Brady, my guy just is out here just deleting people. it's too funny.
All right, and that'll wrap up worst or best tweet, and we get on to the wheels segment. Blind ranking Super Bowl MVPs. So I got a wheel for us. So we're going all the way back to 2005. Some of them are repeats. So adjust accordingly to how you want to rank them. So yeah, that's all.
Let's get it.
All right, who wants to go first? Yeah,
I got
Josh.
the rock. I got the rock last time. I was going to say I want to dish it out. I want to get somebody else to get the ball.
Josh has the honors due to his team winning the whole thing.
Fair. Yeah.
I hope I get to rank Patrick Mahomes 3 different times.
We could do that. We could.
No, we should do that.
All right.
Just
Anyways,
do it by athlete. Yeah.
all right. Let's go ahead and start this puppy up. We are spinning right now.
Spin that wheel.
Got some pretty cool names, and Josh somehow gets the one of the very few guys on defensive MVP, Von Miller.
Ooh.
Denver Broncos.
We're gonna throw it in at 3. An accomplishment, a nice little middle part. Again, went off in that Super Bowl. Yeah,
That's a good spot for it. I
I
like
think
that.
it's a good 3.
Yeah, prime Von Miller.
It gives you room to play with both sides.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and spin this wheel one more time. Von Miller, another one. Oh, nice. San Antonio Holmes, Pittsburgh Steelers. Super Bowl 43.
One of the most iconic catches.
I know. We might have to go 2. We might just have to go 2.
Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot. There's still a lot out there, but I mean, respect's got to be due for just an iconic catch.
I remember exactly. For some reason, again, I'm not a fan of either teams, and I know it's the Super Bowl, but for some reason, I remember screaming at a TV, being inches away, being like, "There's a blade of grass! There's a blade of grass!"
I wanted.
Also, OH.
Oh.
He's not a steak guy.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Huh.
Look at you! Look at you! Look at you with your ball knowledge, dog.
Oh, look at me in Wikipedia pages.
I wanted the Cardinals to win that Super Bowl so bad, and then
Oh, me too.
just heart ripped out there. All right, another MVP. Give it to us. What's the wheel gonna choose? We don't know.
Can you get a super pick?
Oh, and here he is on a silver platter, Josh Patrick Mahomes.
Oh man.
See, now here's where we're just gonna go four for the video. He's gonna be four.
All right.
Or I mean,
Good.
no, actually, you know what? We're just gonna go off most recent Super Bowl performances for Patrick Mahomes, and we're gonna clip this in there because it's gonna be hilarious. And I'm just gonna go straight from the beginning. We're gonna rank him purely off most recent Super Bowl appearances, and that guy is gonna be sitting at number 5.
Unreal. The script writers had it out for us, Drew.
For clip reasons, I wish he would have just kept up on that laugh.
We just loop it. We'll loop it.
Right. All right. So who do you have? You have the one spot and the four spot. All
1 and 4. Yeah.
Okay, that should be interesting. Spinning it again. 1 and 4. Where is he gonna put them? Oh, and here we go. Another Josh favorite, Tom Brady.
Wow.
I mean, listen, the part of a lot of a debate that I haven't been having here is that, like, I mean, I think a lot of the Super Bowl does quite a bit for Tom Brady, just enshrining himself as just the GOAT. So we might just have to eat a little bit of rocks here and just not, and listen, we'll put him at number 1. We'll be pragmatic.
There you go.
Wow.
We can be humble.
I was really expecting.
Just
you to
kidding.
go
Put him
for-
at number 4.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh!
There we go. There we go. Shift the narrative. Make me have to type out again. I can't blame you though. That's the most Josh thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, we got to sniff our own armpits today.
I was hooked. I was hooked, ready to be fished and gutted.
Listen, some days you're the big dog, other days you're a New York City fire hydrant, man, and that's just the way it goes.
All right, spinning again. Who will be number 1?
Oh no.
Aaron Rodgers.
We've done it.
Here we
Play the video of
are.
him with the American flag. Let's go.
I'm definitely putting like a lighter transparency in like Aaron Rodgers.
Just caw.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's an all-timer right there. That one. Woo.
All
I wouldn't say
right.
I feel proud, but mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Kane, you saw it, you conquered. Jake, do you want the rock?
Oh, brother, I want the friggity freaking rock.
All right, passing the rock to Jake. And we are going to spin this wheel in 2, 1. Right now, what will Jake end up with?
Joe Flacco, Joe Flacco.
What's the strategy? We gonna leave 1 and 5?
I'm letting you know right now that there is one guy on this list that I hope on everything I get, and I will scream the reason if I can see it. But come on.
Will it be Cooper Cup?
Ooh, no, it won't.
Oh.
Man, I think that's it's solid room to work with, but I feel like there's not going to be too many ones that are going to be worse than Cooper Cup, right? Like especially since 2004. I don't know if it's disrespectful, but I'm leaning towards 4 or 5 because I feel like it's only going to be. I'm going to go with 4 because there might be one that kind of sneaks up against me, but that's probably going to screw me.
He's probably going to get released too.
Yeah, true.
Wouldn't
We're going 5.
hate him on my team, but
We're gonna go 5, and again, there's a guy that's gonna totally adjust my ratings if I get him. So we're hit the button.
we hit it. And what will Jake's fate be? Malcolm Smith, New England Patriots.
Wait, what? Say it again.
Malcolm Smith.
Yes, and Malcolm Smith is the Seahawk, correct?
No, the
Yes.
New England Patriot.
No.
Oh wait, no, that's right.
Yeah,
You're fucking
yeah.
right. That's
Exactly.
right. The
This
linebacker.
So this is the name I was waiting for because Malcolm Smith went to my high school, William Howard Taft in Los Angeles. So Malcolm Smith, just for the lore, give me number 1, baby. Let's run it.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I remember when that happened and we were freaking the hell out. It was cool. So again,
He also
Malcolm
went to
Smith,
USC.
number 1. Also went to USC too. So again, for young Jake Snyder lore, that was big.
It's huge.
My brain wires crossed, and I was thinking Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's hand up. My bad. He did not
Hey,
win that
all good.
MVP.
Hey, we out here. We out here. All the bros in the bleachers makes mistakes sometimes, But Malcolm Smith didn't, and that's why he was a Super Bowl MVP. Give me him as my number one.
All right, spinning the wheel again. Jake, you have 2, 3, and 5 open, correct?
I do indeed. A lot of middle ground here, Drew.
Well, you're gonna fill some middle ground, or what are you gonna do? Von Miller.
Oh, I'm stealing Josh's
Ooh.
move, and I'm going him at the 3 spot. I think I can get a quarterback out of one of the next two. Probably going to have to dog one of these out, but came to play, Drew.
Oh
Came
yeah,
to be in the
Edelman.
bleachers.
All right, spinning it again. Came to play. Let's see how you handle this one. Jake will be getting Jalen Hurts.
Shit.
Will you let the recency bias affect you?
I listen,
Hmm?
man. I for as much as I really don't want to say it, like he really did ball the hell out, and he had a crazy efficient game. So I think that we're probably going to have to put him at the 2, and that is a little bit of a recency bias. But I mean, that was a pretty unreal performance against again a Chiefs defense that really shouldn't have been kind of labeled as anything that was bad, right? Like it,
Mhm.
it kind of just got shoved in. Is kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Well,
Hurts it too.
Hurts it too.
And listen, it hurts too to put hurts it too, but I'm going to continue just for you, Drew.
All right. Well, Jake, what's the one spot you have open?
4.
Nick Foles.
Ah, damn.
Oh,
All right, yeah, but that's fine. I think I have a great list, honestly.
it's for 4 inches above average.
You- Hey, bear down.
All right. It's my turn. Last but not least,
Let's see it.
there's a few guys I really want. So hopefully we can get them. Mix it up a little bit. And
Eli Manning,
I
Eli Manning, Eli Manning,
will
Eli Manning, Eli
be
Manning.
getting Eli Manning.
Oh, we finally got one.
I get paid, Manning. Get wrecked, nerd.
Oh, wait, no,
Peyton
damn it.
Manning's brother.
Oh,
Suck it. Hook,
Wait, so
line,
you
and
got-
sinker.
So you got Peyton?
That's right.
Damn it. We find every time that we do the whole cross your fingers and say the name a bunch of times, we never get it. And yet, damn it.
right there.
2 evil laughs in this show. Where do I want to put Mr. Peyton Manning? That was the Colts Super Bowl against the Bears. He didn't do the greatest, but is Peyton Manning on Super Bowl MVPs alone? I think I'm gonna put Peyton at 3.
I like it.
I that might I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Could be a smidgen low, just seeing how the rest of the looks look out. But I would go 2 or 3.
I wanted
Yeah.
to, but I feel 3 might be a little bit better, but no respect. Love Peyton Manning. All right, spinning the wheel again. I swear to God, if it's Eli Manning, that'd be- I will be getting San Antonio and Holmes too. As a guy who crushed my hopes and dreams, do I be spiteful? No, I'm gonna put him at 2. I mean, that was
Yeah.
one of the crazier catches.
do it for Ohio
In
State.
like the biggest moment, and
The very biggest moment to only like make people forget about Larry Fitzgerald's touchdown that he had, I think, or that
Right.
big run play he had. No, he did score a touchdown. Yeah,
He
it
did.
was-
Yeah,
ugh.
he had a lot of tackles in that game too.
So hyped, and then came crashing down. All right, so I had 1, 4, and 5. This could get really interesting. Oh boy, and I will be getting Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes. Here's a guy.
Try to say it with less pain in your face.
I mean, the dude's won. He's won 3 MVPs, right? 2.
Yeah.
So,
3.
Oh, I will not have any spite in my decision and put him at 1.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
spite? What? Spite?
Yeah. What am I talking about? Spite.
Yeah. What?
So that means I have
Oops.
4 and 5 open. No?
Yeah, you got 4 and 5, kid.
All right. Spinning it again. Now I really hope I don't get the person I wanted originally. And I will.
Oh, Joe Flacco. No.
Oh, no.
No. Oh. Oh. Joe Flacco will be elite at number 4. Damn it.
Elite at foe.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
it's a
Oh.
Joe at foe.
it's a good spot as far as where your list is, but for you personally,
Yeah, that one stings. I would totally put him at 1 for memes. Damn it, maybe I should have spited Patrick Mahomes. Ugh. All right. Well, one more spin, and we will be getting.
Edelman.
No, don't say that. Cooper Cup at 5.
All right. Only a couple repeats from us, but I think we got some good lists.
Cooper heavy episode.
I really wanted Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman's one of my favorite players. And one of the crazier catches of all time, too.
Yeah, for real.
And one of the crazier beards under a helmet.
Yeah,
Gym rat.
Very big beard.
Gym rat type of guy.
All right, let's name off some of the people we've missed. We didn't get Julian Edelman. We also didn't get Eli Manning, like many of you two really wanted me to get. We didn't get Drew Brees. He was another one.
That was one I wanted to.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And then the last one, Hines Ward.
Oh.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
Right?
Wow, the Steelers have 2 different wide receivers that have won Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. I didn't even realize that until now.
And even I guess Lynn Swann, I know, was on those Steelers teams back in the day. Did he win any of those MVPs too? Because that would be crazy.
Well, you know what, Jake? We got time. Let's check it out now.
Let's just we'll just get cozy in the bleachers for half a second.
Yeah, Lynn Swann won one.
Look at that! Holy crap!
Go.
So the Steelers have what, 6 Super Bowls?
5? Yeah, they
have
6.
Yeah, 2 of them were Terry Bradshaw, and the other was Franco Harris, running back.
Right.
Wow. So they have 2 quarterback ones, but they have 3 wide receiver ones and 1 running back. Damn, I would not have expected that. I mean, I guess, maybe hindsight's 2020 type thing, but damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, and some other big names, obviously. Ray Lewis, 2000 Super Bowl MVP. John Elway. Desmond Howard. I didn't know he won an NFL. And I guess that was the Brett Favre Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, question mark. Troy Aikman. I'll throw one in for Jake. Troy Aikman. Thank you. And then Emmitt Smith the following year.
Mark Rippon.
Yeah, Mark Rippon.
Uncle to a very mediocre Boise State quarterback.
Dougie Williams. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great names, but that'll wrap up the wheel segment. That'll wrap up the show. Fellas, any closing thoughts before we sign off for tonight?
Oh, this episode was just a little bit unbearable, but all in the best ways, folks. It's again, appreciate you joining us. Make sure that you're following us on YouTube, on Spotify. Maybe even go check out a TikTok or 2. Maybe give us a follow. Maybe send some videos to the friends. Let's get some comments going. Let's find out some new wheel ideas and whatnot. But I am ready for the next NFL season, and it's a little bit too early to be ready for the next NFL season. But damn it, I'm coming and attacking this year. I'm just letting you boys know.
We'll see how that goes. How that works for him. Honestly, I mean, all we have is but to wait. And wait, I will. No, like a coiled cobra.
God damn it.
I'm a snake. All right. Well, that'll wrap up the show. Thanks for everybody tuning in. This was another episode of the Frozen Features Podcast.
Hey, bros.